AOC got a movie that flopped. The Chief Justice put the brakes on the Biden administration, transgenders on death row, and criminal charges for Trump. The Urban Conservative starts right around now. This season of the Urban Conservative Podcast is brought to you by Newton for Senate, working to improve education, reduce taxes, and keep North Carolina #1 for business. Find out more at newtonforsenate.com. This episode of the Urban Conservative has also been sponsored by Case Technology Consulting. Help your business get value out of its data and become more efficient and streamlined. Case Technology Consulting. Check out the link in the description.
Do you like NASCAR? Do you like a Tribe Called Quest? Well, you gonna love the Urban Conservative.
Do you like manwich and nachos? Well, then you'd love the Urban Conservative.
Do you like guns? Do you like butter? Well, you're gonna love the Urban Conservative.
Yo, what's good, son? You like pit bulls, say? You like solving Sudoku puzzles? Then you gonna love the Urban Conservative.
Hey, buddy, if your car making a sound like this, you might want to get you some power steering fluid and check out the Urban Conservative Podcast. Are you repulsed by the idea of drag queen story time at your local library, but enjoy Carol Baskin TikTok memes? Then you would enjoy the Urban Conservative.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's Monday night. It's time for the Urban Conservative Podcast. I am Abdul Ali. That guy over there is my twin brother, Raheem Soto. And as always, you're watching on Facebook, Twitter, or on YouTube. Please jump over to tuconservative.com. Get yourself a membership. We know Joe Biden's got everything costing more, but it's only $10 to support us for a year. And we really appreciate all the love, bro. We are almost at the end of 2022, bro. Amazing ride it's been this year.
Episode 51.
Yeah.
So, we're coming into Christmas. We're coming into, happy Hanukkah to all of those folks that celebrate Hanukkah. Happy all of the holidays. Salutes to all of our followers, all of our viewers from across the globe at this point, really, Ali. We reached over 1 million people in 2022 here on this platform. And again, like we said on Thanksgiving, we're very, very thankful for each one of you that reach out to us, each one of you that cash app us, that support the platform, that come on board as sponsors, underwriters, and people that just get involved at the end of the day. So yes, bro, yes, episode 51. We got one more. We got one more for the year's over, man, and we in 23.
So I gotta throw something out there real quick. As always, folks, please let us know where you're watching from so we can get your shout out. Jump in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from.
Yes, sir.
We've got some things we need to cover, bro. And first thing I want to talk about is this right here, bro. This is the first thing I want to talk about. Yo, listen, if you don't know, which most folks don't clearly, AOC had a movie that came out.
Right. And the reports are let's go to the reports first. So reports from WPDE.com say opening weekend for a climate change documentary that included Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC as she's affectionately known, AOC from the block, as the film's most noteworthy protagonist, who did not make a lot of money, only generating $80 per theater in ticket sales. So that's like the equivalent of your mixtape, your album coming out and going double wood. They did the film so far has received an 83% rating from Rotten Tomatoes. So that one other popular rating site gave the movie a 2.3 out of 10 rating. However, the report says opening weekend saw 120 theaters in the U.S. screen the documentary, but in total, and here's the bombshell, Ali, the film garnered less than $10,000 in ticket sales.
I don't think this was really about making a movie that anybody wanted to see more so than it was for her to be able to be like around her own
Okay,
crew
hold
of
on. So
people.
here's some of the critiques, right?
Oh gosh.
One critic said, who would go to see a movie that's the opposite of entertaining?
Oh,
That was Greg Gutfeld who said that during the taping of Fox, the Five. He said, "Who would go see a movie that's the opposite of entertainment?" Okay, we got another quote, but it does show you how great it is to be a progressive in a liberal biased culture. He added, "She really doesn't do her job right. She makes movies. She goes to galas. She sits for glossy butt kissing interviews in GQ and other women's mags."
all
To
right.
the
So
End wasn't her only time starring in a feature film. So apparently, I didn't know this. I'm reading this now. She's been in other movies.
apparently, and here's the other thing. I heard that there was like no, you know how certain movies that these people get in, you get personal moments, you get them at the house, you get them waking up in the morning. It was none of that. It was
Mm.
absolutely none of that. You
So
know,
how many?
AOC hiking.
Listen, when you see this, what we need to know is put a 1 in the comment section if you've seen this movie. Put a 2 in the comment section if you have not seen the movie. All right,
And
that's we want to
it
see the
looks
winner.
like real quick, a couple of shouts out. We've got North Carolina is in the building. I see Pearl Burris Floyd. Shouts out to her, Vice President of the Frederick Douglass Foundation. Salute to you, Pearl. Thanks for checking us in. I see we've got some Connecticut in the building. Thanks for checking in Connecticut. And apparently, our friend in Connecticut has not seen that
You are
movie.
not going to check out the movie? Well, I'm interested in if Big Sister Pearl Burris Floyd is going to see the movie with AOC. I'll be curious if she's giving that a
I
gander
can answer
while
that
she's
for
in the
Pearl
cat
right
in the
now.
chat
Pearl
display.
ain't giving that lady no money. I
Okay, all
can,
right. I mean, listen,
yo,
folks.
let me answer that for you. I'm gonna answer it for you. You ain't giving that lady no.
No, I haven't even seen the trailer. To be totally honest with you, I didn't even see that. I didn't know this. So
Hey,
I seen
full
the flop.
transparency, folks. Full transparency at home. I was like, hey, Rob, we should play the trailer during the show, and he was like, absolutely not. We're not defiling our show
I
with
refuse. I refuse.
AOC's face. We're
All
not
right, we
doing
got
that.
a comment here. I'll never watch that creep more than the mainstream media already makes me. Amen to that, because I personally turn off the TV when she comes on. When she begins the process of spewing the nonsense out of her gullet, I just turn off the TV because it's
Wow.
incoherent gibberish. Like she is
So let me
queen
ask
of
you a question. Let
incoherent
me ask you a
gibberish.
question. So I want to clarify this because this movie is supposed to be about global warming and all of that, right? How in the hell come Barack Obama and all of their acolytes keep buying oceanfront property? That's what I want to know, bro. Wait a minute. Why would you buy a crib and in one instance you buying a crib on the ocean and then you turn around and tell me the ocean is gonna swallow up all the beachfront property? Was that your way to keep us away from being around you? Like, I don't understand what that is.
Very, very possibly, right? Very possibly that could be the answer. But what the thing is, I don't think these people actually subscribe. All right, so there's a level where they don't actually subscribe to the climate change agenda.
Wait. So you're saying they're saying a bunch of stuff they don't believe is what you're saying.
It's more virgin. It's like the highest form. They are the climate change extremists that are taking climate change out of context, right? They are like the master level of the video game far left liberal. Like it's them and the social justice warriors, but they are the boss of the liberal hierarchy, the climate change folks like that, because they don't actually believe it. So when you have somebody who's like the climate and then zips around in a private jet, when your climate czar doesn't even have a green jet, and then but I have to use this gas powered spewing CO2 into the because I need to talk on your behalf. So so
No.
that's
I need to stay at the spa in Versailles because, you know, son, they go after Trump's taxes and yet they avoid taxes like the plague and then buy properties just like Mar-a-Lago. We're going to actually talk about Trump here in a few minutes on the show because there's some interesting developments in the whole January 6th thing. But again, I just want to say this about this, right? I can't. I'm not gonna say hate because hate is such a strong word.
It is.
I extremely detest AOC. It's like I
Well,
have a
you know what,
palpable
Ali?
detestation.
Let's be fair. Let's be fair about something. It's the dislike. I think for me comes in at the disregard and the notion that this country isn't the greatest country on the planet. Right. That
That part.
this idea that the sure we have plenty of things to work on here in this country. Sure, there's plenty of obstacles yet to still be overcome, if you will. There's things that I'm pretty sure that any society and every society has these things. You know, nobody's in utopia, right? But the level of disdain that they have for our nation, that the things that they're perpetrating to be wrong, the things that they're claiming to be wrong, and they're scaring folks into believing is wrong. For example, Republicans want to take Medicare away, things of that nature.
They want to. Republicans want to cancel your Social Security.
Yeah,
I've heard that.
so when it's the fear mongering and the anti-America sentiment that's really being promoted by the likes of AOC and the Squad and Chuck Schumer and the rest of these people that it's like I said, the highest form of virtue signaling. So I'm glad her movie flopped. I'm glad everything with her flops, and I hope it continues to flop. I hope every piece of legislation she writes flops. I hope her movie career flops. I hope everything about her flops. I mean, I wish her great health and no harm, no nothing like that. But just you suck as a politician. Everything you're a flop. All right. So it's to be expected. All
You're
right.
a flop.
We're at
You're
the 12
definitely.
minute mark, bro. We going to commercial. What are we doing?
All right, we're going to
30?
take a quick commercial break, y'all. We'll be right back here on the Urban Conservative Podcast. Share the content. Tell a friend. We'll be right back.
Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Just because you're black doesn't mean you have to vote Democrat. This year, in order to see benefits for our communities, we need to vote outside the box. Find out more by visiting us at tuconservative.com.
All right, folks, it's Monday night. You're back here on the Urban Conservative Podcast. You're watching on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Big ups to our friends and family over at Millennium TV 24. We have some amazing things going on in 2023. We are just grateful for the opportunity to continue to reach people, not just here in North Carolina, not just there in New York, but across the country and across the world. So shouts out to Stuart McCain and Noor and all the folks up at Millennium TV.
And real quick too, and for those of you who make sure you also go to all of your podcast apps, Spotify, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, everywhere you listen to podcasts, make sure to give us a subscribe, a follow. It goes a long way. Share the podcast. If you're watching here, right, that's cool, but you can also go back on all of those streaming platforms, anywhere you listen to podcasts. And if we're somewhere you think we should be and we're not there, please get in the comment section, let us know so we could get our behinds on what you watching, so that way we could be there. All right. So what we got next, bro?
So what we got next is this. Okay. You all know that we're Republicans, okay? And y'all saw the disclaimer at the beginning of the show. Basically, these are our thoughts. They belong to us, not any of our underwriters or anything like that. But the next thing we're going to talk about is this young lady right here.
Mm-hmm.
That young lady right there is Ronna McDaniel. She is the chairwoman of the RNC. And right now, there appears to be some flexing, a little bit of positioning and posturing going on at the RNC, where I think your man Lee Zeldin just came out against Ronna McDaniel.
Well, you know what? I wouldn't say it's against it, right?
He was against, bro.
No. There's a sentiment. I'm not trying to buttercup this. I'm saying there's a sentiment of folks that think she should step aside and that the RNC needs to go in a different direction, right? So when you say against her, it's kind of, I don't.
If you say she needs to go, you're against her.
All right, I tried.
You tried. It was.
I tried.
But here's the thing, right? Do we really want the pillow guy, like the My Pillow guy?
Well,
really?
well. Here's where it gets interesting, right? And we have to be totally, if we're going to be objective about this as Republicans, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
There's a group of us who think we alone define what a conservative is or what a
Sure.
Republican, a true Republican is, right?
And I
So
hate,
I
by the
think,
way, I hate that term. I hate that.
yeah, I can't stand it. But one thing that we can agree on is that we can measure somebody by the works that they've done and what they've actually done, right? So when we start to lay no, and I have to make this almost kind of like synonymous with a Trump thing. You don't have to like him, but when you lay out the results, when you lay out the hard facts about what this person has done, and when we lay those facts out about her, right, what we see is that she was willing to put things into effect in New York. Like what I can speak to is that people getting recognition, like myself, from the RNC for the work that we were putting in the states and on in during the Trump run and all that stuff like that. So when we start talking about what she's accomplished, the other side is more like, well, I don't like her and I think this and those are opinions. I want to look at her work. You know what I mean? So let's speak a little bit about what she's actually accomplished and not so much the loud, we don't like her, I don't like her. What does that have to do with anything?
Okay. So where are you going with this? With work wise, what are you saying?
So what I'm saying is the RNC has raised some money. When we could talk about fundraising, has she done a good or poor job in your opinion fundraising?
She's done an excellent job in fundraising.
Okay,
I
so
don't
we
know
can check
anybody
that
that can
box.
complain.
Has the Republican Party grown under her tenure in the minority sectors?
I just was on a call today in North Carolina. This is the third consecutive election that the growth of minority African American vote for the Republican Party has grown. Third consecutive race.
So now let's just take those two factors right there. And then when we start to look at what's being called the big loss, right? The mainstream lamestream media wants to promote the narrative, and I'm pretty sure you all heard this, that Donald Trump or the RNC is somehow responsible for us not getting seats or not winning all of these seats. And there are some things that contributed to us not winning, this red tsunami that we were all looking, hoping and praying for. But you can't lay that at the feet of Rana alone. You got to lay that at the feet of a lot of different things. And to lay that at, 200 and something races you lose. What was the number he went? Where did we go?
He won 200 and something, lost like 23.
Whatever that number is, he didn't lose nowhere near 50% of
Nah, it
so
wasn't even that. And look, one thing I will say about this is I flashed up that picture of me and Ronald McDaniel real quick, only to point something out. We talk about the first time ever the RNC has made a commitment to invest in engaging minority communities. The RNC put RNC victory people on the ground. As a county chairman, I had the opportunity to work hand in hand with the RNC victory team on election integrity. We here in North Carolina, and the RNC paid for it, had a full-time election integrity attorney, a full-time election integrity director. Shouts out to my man Dave Warren. And that's all because of the vision of Ronna McDaniel. So while I hear what people are saying, I tend to think, because you gotta understand, who else do we got there? Lee Zeldin. Is Lee Zeldin gonna jump in the race? Maybe. He hasn't said that, but Mike Lindell, the My Pillow guy.
Well, you know what? There's two layers to this, though. There's the layer where, hold on, there's the layer where, right, coming into this next break, there's a layer where you can run, but what are you actually running for? Because if you're involved and you know what's going on internally, right, this looks like a bunch of posturing, and this is where it gets a little flaky to me. Because if you knew what I knew, saying you're going to run against her, you can do it. You have the money to do it. But if you know what's going on, you know what I'm saying, Ali? Like,
it comes across as a grift.
it's kind of grifty because, all right, so let's ask this question. Is there a mechanism by which we could determine how much support she has within the party?
Absolutely.
And if we go to that metric or that thing, what are we looking like? If
Nobody gets close. Nobody gets close.
So then what are we talking about? What are you talking about? You're running for RNC chair. That to me causes more division and problems externally because it creates this narrative that there's some infighting, which I don't like. I don't like the political infighting.
You know,
It's one of the
I
turnoffs
talked
for
with our
political
chairman about
parties
that
that I don't like.
earlier, about that whole situation about the circular firing squad that sometimes is the Republican Party. But I'll put it this way: there's 160 people that vote at the RNC. Rana's already got 100 of them.
Right.
Game over. It's like, so what are we really doing? What are we really talking about? Now, can we lay the Lee Zeldin situation, the loss of Lee Zeldin in New York, does that get blamed on the RNC?
No, how do you
Does the Herschel Walker race down in Florida in
I
Georgia get
can't
blamed?
listen.
What?
I can't speak. The only thing that I can speak to, and I have to give a super big shout out to our Suffolk County GOP and all of the town leaders, all of the executive committees here in Suffolk County. We delivered for Lee Zeldin. We delivered for our candidates up and down the ballot, point blank, period. So I don't know what was going on other places. I know Suffolk County delivered. I know Nassau County delivered. I know our chairman, Jesse Garcia, delivered, and all of our town leaders delivered. Where we underestimated this abortion message in New York. We underestimated saying that abortion, like I think we were a little tone deaf in the messaging, but that can't fall at the feet of the RNC. That can't fall at the
No, and
feet.
I don't think that Supreme Court decision timing was right. I think if
Yeah.
that would have happened January, February, we might be very well looking at a
Talking about a
different.
Governor Zeldin, but I also, again, and the beautiful part about I will say our side of the aisle, 99.9% of the time, constructive criticism isn't taken as a personal assault, which is, why we're the same side of things. We're the kind of the grown-ups in the room, because what I'm simply saying is I didn't think the response that abortion is not going to be overturned in New York is the right response when you have people genuinely concerned. And that response seems somewhat robotic. But that again has nothing to do with the RNC. That's, we can discuss that back and forth, talk about that till the cows come home. But what the RNC did, and again, the level that I was involved at in my town, I was told from people close to the RNC, I was told that Suffolk they were very helpful. So I don't
Right.
understand where people getting this from. I don't
Well, look,
understand.
just on the tail end of this, the other thing that I am I think it is here it goes, and I'll share this with you. This is why I appreciate Ronna McDaniel. Okay. Do you see her up there in the middle of that? Do you know what this is about, Ra? This
Can
event
you
this
stretch?
is?
Can you zoom in a little? Make that the picture the
You,
full screen.
you want me
Yeah,
to make
there's a
that full
little
screen?
double. There's a double arrow. Yeah, hit
There you
that.
go.
There you go.
So this was an RNC
Can you
training.
hit the plus on that? Can we get a little
A
pluses?
little bigger? Want a little bigger?
Maybe
A little
just a
bigger.
little. Yeah,
There you
there
go.
you
There
go.
you go. And
Okay.
there's Ronna right there in the middle of all of us. Okay. There's Chairwoman McDaniel. But this was an RNC training. 100 Bellwether County chairmen got together. And yes, that's me down at the bottom. But what you see there is diverse. Shouts out to my man Will Connect and Omar Lugo and Sarah Reedy Jones and all the folks that were up there from North Carolina. But I just say this to say is that Ronna put a real investment in making sure that we understood as county party officials, as leaders in the party, that we were responsible for the success of the party at a grassroots level and how much she appreciated. So to the folks saying that Ronna got to go, we'll see. I don't necessarily agree with that, but we'll see.
Hey, but
Coming up
listen,
on,
it's a free country, number one, right?
yep.
So we encourage you. Listen, that's the beautiful thing about open and fair elections. If you think you could beat her, go for it. By all means, go for it. Right or wrong. So go ahead. I didn't know where you were going.
No, here's where I'm going. We're at the 24-minute mark. We're going to take a quick commercial break right here on the Urban Conservative Podcast. Do us a favor, share the content. We'll be right back in just a few seconds.
TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the
This season of the Urban Conservative Podcast is brought to you by Newton for Senate, working to improve education, reduce taxes, and keep North Carolina #1 for business. Find out more at newtonforsenate.com.
This episode of the Urban Conservative has also been sponsored by Case Technology Consulting. Help your business get value out of its data and become more efficient and streamlined. Case Technology Consulting. Check out the link in the description.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Urban Conservative Podcast. We really appreciate you being a part of what we are doing here. As always, if you haven't done so already, jump on over to tuconservative.com, get yourself a membership. We are going to continue to spread the conservative message into urban communities across the country, which is our mission, our goal. That's what we are here to do, is to help spread conservatism around. Before we talk about Donald Trump, because before this show is over, we're going to talk about Donald Trump and this whole January 6th thing, bro. But I have to talk about this right here.
Go for it.
This is what I have to talk about right here, bro. Do you know who that is right there, bro?
Nah, I can't say I do just by looking.
You've never seen that picture before? I didn't show you that picture?
No, you didn't.
Okay. That is a person who is in jail.
Okay.
Prison. You call it jail. It's death row.
Okay. This just got interesting.
Okay. That is the first openly transgender. And here's the thing about the AP article. And y'all are going to judge me for saying this. The way that it's written, it says this is the openly transgender woman. That's confusing.
Wait a gosh, dang on.
Yo,
what in the
so
flying fudgesicles is what? What?
That is the first openly transgender woman set to be executed in the U.S.
Before we can even get to you getting executed, we need to talk about who is executing the delivery of these pronouns and adjectives. The writer wrote, this is the what? Say it one more time.
Openly transgender woman.
So what does that mean? Does it mean it was a man or was a woman? What is that? What?
Somebody's got to help us out with that. So check this out. Columbia,
Missouri. Is that a man or is that a woman?
That's him, bro. That's Twig and
Berry.
That's
a man. Right, it looks very manly.
That is Beans and Franks right there, bro. That is Twig and Berry, son. That is bowling ball and pins. That's what that is.
Cucumbers and cherry tomatoes.
There you go, son. Carrot and tomatoes. That's what you got there. Okay. The first openly transgender. I'm just going to change the word woman to person. I can't even physically do that. The first openly transgender person set to be executed in the U.S. is asking Missouri's governor for mercy. Lawyers for Amber McLaughlin. It's ma'am, okay? It's ma'am. Now 49 on Monday asked Republican Governor Mike Parson to spare. And it says her, but I'm going to say them. Okay, I'm just going to use they, them. How about that?
Excuse me, you cannot use they, them because you're going to offend the they, thems that who are not included in this story. So carry on.
All right. McLaughlin was convicted of killing 45-year-old Beverly Gunther in November of 2003. Gunther was raped and stabbed to death in St. Louis County. There's no known case of an openly transgender inmate being executed in the U.S. before, according to the Anti-Execution Death Penalty Information Center. It's wrong when anyone's executed regardless. I have a problem with that, but I'm going to stop. But I hope that this first doesn't occur.
That someone made that it's wrong when someone gets executed.
It's wrong when anyone is executed regardless, but I hope that this first doesn't occur. Federal Public Defender Larry Comp said, listen, this is the line. I knew this was going to get you. Amber has shown great courage in embracing who she is as a transgender woman, in spite of the potential for people reacting with hate. McLaughlin's lawyer cited her traumatic childhood and mental health issues, which the jury never heard in the clemency petition. So let me get this straight. I just want to make sure I totally understand what we got going on. Okay. I just want to make sure I understand what we got going on. So you decided to rape and murder someone. You raped them and then you murdered them. You stabbed them. You raped, then stabbed. You didn't use the I had feces smeared on me defense when I was in court. You didn't use the I was mentally deficient in the death and raping case. But now we about to give you that juice, that little injection, little electricity. And now all of a sudden, oh, my traumatic childhood and the things that happened to me.
All right, hold
So,
on. So here's what I have to ask, right?
okay.
Here's what this does for me, right? Put
Mhm,
that picture back up. Put that picture
mhm.
back up. Put the picture back up, right? Here's what this does for me. And I don't know if this does this for anyone else, right? But at what point do we consider justice for the victims? At what point, right? What point do you consider the families of the people, the loved ones of the people, the victims of these heinous acts, right? Now, if you live in a state where your legislative body, the elected officials, the representation put in place to represent your wishes says in this state we have capital punishment, right? You do this an eye for an eye, right? A life for a life. You do. If we find you guilty, this is the penalty. That's the penalty you're going to pay with your life, right? What kind of mentality do you have to advocate on behalf of some of these people? Because you have to be soulless. You have to be a soulless creature to represent this person and justifiably go and try to justify why the family shouldn't get the ultimate form of justice as seen and elected and as seen and legislated for in the state that you're in, if that's capital punishment rather. So
Mm.
I just don't understand the mentality of those folks. I know everyone deserves, what is that, a fair trial and a proper defense and all of those different things.
Sure.
But if you are found guilty and it is beyond a reasonable doubt that you did the raping and the stabbing and the murdering,
We're
right?
not at the point of even that. You done it.
We
You
know
did
you
it.
did it. You did it. I'm going to agree with you that you definitely suffer from some type of mental illness, right? I'm going to agree with you because the idea that you could even think you could transgenderize yourself, right? The fact that you thought that, we already need to be having a mental health discussion with some of these folks.
Correct.
So I'm not with the defense. I think it's horrific. I think you would have to be a soulless being, right? Or at least drink a lot of alcohol and hate your life. You might get paid very well to be a what is it, a defense attorney in this situation, right? They might have to give you a heck of a bag, right? To live with yourself to kind of form the opinion that this person deserves some type of
So
mercy. I don't agree. I
so check
totally
this out.
disagree.
McLaughlin's lawyers cited her cited the traumatic childhood and mental health issues, which the jury never heard in the clemency petition. A foster parent rubbed feces in her face. How can it was a he back then? Shouldn't it been a foster parent rubbed feces in his face when he was a child? Are you saying it was a her when it was a baby, even though it was a boy? I'm trying to
I,
figure
this is
like
this is
how
this is how
does the
far.
does the
Yo,
gender change go
yeah.
backwards?
All right,
Is what I'm
listen.
asking.
Let's see how many of these we can come up with real quick before we go to break. Right,
Mhm,
the
mhm.
the train is off the rails.
Okay, the lights are on, but no one's home.
Okay. Uh,
The hamster's on the wheel, but he ain't running.
all right. I'm running out of them because I don't know how bad this is for humanity. Uh, 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 the horse
One
ain't got no
sandwich
legs.
short
I
of a
don't know who got one.
Yo, one sandwich short of a picnic. If you were in the army, then you know what playing basketball by yourself and the score being 8-up is. You know what that means, bro.
Yo,
You
we
bet.
are in a weird space where this is the reality, bro.
Oh, it gets
And
better.
this is
Listen to this. Listen to
okay.
this.
Go for
Hold
it.
on. Listen to this. Listen to this. So, a foster parent rubbed feces in her face when she was a little toddler, and her
Okay.
adoptive father tased her, according to the letter to Parson, to the clemency letter. She tried to kill herself multiple times, both as a child and an adult. These are not decisions that the governors take lightly, says Kelly Jones from the governor's office. Com said McLaughlin's lawyers are scheduled to meet with Parson on Tuesday. A judge sentenced McLaughlin to death after a jury was unable to decide on death or life in prison without parole. A federal judge in St. Louis ordered a new sentencing hearing in 2016, citing concerns about the effectiveness of McLaughlin's trial lawyers and faulty jury instructions. But in 2021, a federal appeals court panel reinstated the death penalty. McLaughlin's lawyer also listed the jury's indecision and McLaughlin's remorse as reasons why her life should be spared. Missouri has only executed one woman before, and State Corrections Department spokeswoman Karen Pajman said McLaughlin's lawyer said she was previously rooming with another transgender woman, but now is living in isolation leading up to the scheduled exhalation date. 9% of Missouri's prison
Execution date?
population
Really?
is female. Hmm?
So she's in a female prison?
It says she was with another, he or
We're
she.
saying she. You guys got to thought we was talking about woman for a second. It's a man. He's still in the what?
He's still in jail, bro.
In which
And they had
prison?
him
Is he
locked
in a
up with another
female prison or a
transgender.
male prison? That's what I meant to ask.
Right, but to your point, we can
Is
get
it in
off
a
of this.
male prison or a female prison? She,
He's
him,
in prison. They
them?
had him locked up with another dude. But listen, bro, this is where the world is that we're in. This is the world that we're in, folks. And if we, as conservative, God-fearing, America-loving, common sense,
Bro,
logical
I don't
thinking
even
people,
think we need to add the God into it at this point. Where is just regular decency? Like, when did the cutoff? What is the cutoff for like? We don't even have to do religion. All right, let's just be decent people. Can we
that's
just
all
do
I'm
that?
saying.
Like, yeah, we don't even have to bring God into the equation because we got some perfectly fine atheists, some decent folks that are atheists that don't want to see this nonsense. They don't like. This shouts out to some of the atheist groups, atheist Republican groups on social media. I know some of our folks that are religious don't understand that, but yeah, there's a contingent of them, and they want the same things we want, bro. They're
They're
like,
both they're looking at this like, no. Wait a minute.
yeah,
Y'all
we
took
not
a
okay
man
with
and did
that
what?
either. You know, we just don't agree with y'all on the Quran and the Bible stuff, but we don't want them stripping in front of babies neither. So,
Right.
so
So
these are
look,
things that, yeah, go ahead.
no, what I was going to say, folks, right around the 36-minute mark, you're checking out the Urban Conservative Podcast. This is episode number 51. We are going to take a very quick commercial break and be right back with the last segment of tonight's show. Stay tuned. Don't go nowhere. This season of the Urban Conservative Podcast is brought to you by Newton for Senate, working to improve education, reduce taxes, and keep North Carolina #1 for business. Find out more at newtonforsenate.com.
This episode of the Urban Conservative has also been sponsored by Case Technology Consulting. Help your business get value out of its data and become more efficient and streamlined. Case Technology Consulting. Check out the link in the description.
All right, folks, it's Monday night. You're back here with Abdul and Raheem, the Urban Conservative twins. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. As always, if you haven't done so, jump over to tuconservative.com, get yourself a membership, and make sure you listen back anywhere you listen to podcasts. We are available anywhere. And if there's somewhere you like to listen and we ain't on there, let us know so that we can get on there. And we got two little more topics that we're going to cover. And here's one of them. Donald Trump.
Yes, sir.
So
45 himself.
So Donald Trump has responded to the January 6th committee decision, urging the Justice Department to prosecute him over the involvement of his alleged involvement in the Capitol riot to overturn the 2020 election. He says, and I quote, "These folks don't get it." This is him, and I can't do. These folks don't get it. What? That when they come after me, people who love freedom rally around me. It strengthens me. What doesn't kill me makes me stronger. Trump said on Truth social media platform. In its final,
that wasn't a good
meeting,
Trump. That wasn't a good Trump. Y'all have to rate. Y'all have to rate his Trump. That wasn't
my
a
Trump sucked. It was not very good. My Trump.
No, rate. That was like Bernie. Why are you doing Bernie for
I
Trump?
can't do it. They all sound the same to me to an extent.
Oh, come on. What?
Almost. They all got that older guy thing. It's in its final public meeting.
I see you're going for old New York guy, but no.
All right, but listen,
you're going a little more Bernie than Donald. But
I'll take that. I'll work on my Donald. We'll try it again next week. In their final public meeting a few hours ago, the January 6th panel unveiled criminal referrals recommending that the Department of Justice prosecute Trump on charges of inciting an insurrection, conspiracy to defraud the United States, conspiracies to make a false statement, and obstruction of official proceeding. Here's what's going to happen, folks, and this is what I think is happening. They are doing everything they can to knock this dude out of running for president. He's already announced, but they're scared to death that he is going to do something. And I'm seeing the polls out there. Some of the polls are saying DeSantis beats Trump. And I understand all of that. I got you. But here's what you got to look at. The left is terrified. They are absolutely terrified of Donald Trump.
And
now,
them Twitter releases ain't helping.
that Twitter releases ain't helping. But I will say this. Donald Trump is starting to become a little predictable. He's starting to get a little predictable. I watched some of the announcements. You know, you and I were in Wilmington at the speech, and it was great and all of that. But it's kind of like he needs to do something to bring that.
No, I think that's unfair, bro. I'm gonna
Okay.
shoot that down. The reason I'm gonna shoot that down is because this is not entertainment. This is not a record deal. This is not an album. This is not about anything other than fundamental reality. Here's what's going to happen with the President Donald Trump. We will be energy independent, and everyone could F-bomb off. We are going to hold certain people accountable, and they can. Yes, he said it. They don't want to do that. They don't want to have no. He doesn't want to do that. They were scared to death. They don't know what this dude was gonna do. When he said, "Hey, listen, y'all don't want to do that. Hey, country, y'all don't want to do that." Like they don't want that problem. They meant that. So what I'm saying is, he doesn't need to have a new spiel. He needs to do what he did in 2016. I'm not a politician.
You are though.
But I didn't come in this as a politician.
So you can say that, but you can't say I'm not a politician.
No, but when I say that same energy from 2016, I mean that the fact that I'm an outsider, not that I'm a politician, but
but you're not an outsider at this point. Even
he's not a swamp creature either, though. So when we put Trump. And I'm pretty sure
I agree. He's not a swamp creature. He will fight those folks.
I'm not a cult of personality kind of guy. He doesn't pay my bills, so I don't have any incentive to like him as a human being. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to ride for him because I just don't. But what I'm saying is, if you take your personal opinion of Trump, which I don't understand, liking him or not liking him, you don't know him, right, bro? So what do you mean you don't like him? I
just went through this on a post with Shamika earlier.
I've yet to have one articulate liberal give me one articulate, properly contextualized statement that Trump said that was racist or any of the above. Not one. I haven't had one.
I had this issue earlier on a post that Shamika, that Valerie Miller put up. And the lady was like, "Oh, what you mean like Trump? Trump ain't never do nothing." I was like, "Yeah, other than the lowest unemployment for everybody, other than getting HBCUs historical funding, other than the First Step Act to get people out of prison, other than freeing people from out of jail."
Right. Look,
Putting the embassy in Jerusalem, other than not starting no new wars, other than creating energy independence, other than that, no, he didn't do anything.
Well, look at this comment. We got this comment here. I don't like him as a person. He's too arrogant for me, but I loved him as a president. I'll vote for him again. See, now here's what I'm talking about, right? I understand that sentiment, right? I don't like him as a person. He's too arrogant. See, now that's concise for me. I don't like his personality type, that arrogant, flashy person. I can understand why that would rub some people the wrong way. That's not what I'm talking about. You have people that loathe him that will vote for madness, for sheer destruction. Remember the poll they did? There was a story they did, and they were walking around saying, if X amount of people had to die because of the pandemic, would you give that up or vote for Trump? They were like, yeah, let them people die. We don't need Trump in. It was that bad. So when you're that Trump deranged, I don't remember what New York program, they was just asking people on the streets in New York, like, would you rather have X amount of million people die or have Trump reelected? And they were like, yeah, let those people go. We need to thin the herd a little bit. I was just like, hey.
Somebody used the term thin the herd, bro. Holy, wow. Talk about population control, bro.
Listen.
But look, here's what I think. I do not think it would be very unwise for the DOJ to pursue criminal charges against Trump. Not when there's a video of him saying, be peaceful.
Tweets and release tweets that were then blocked.
So I don't see this going anywhere. I think it's more theatrics. But here's the thing: we've got a new Congress starting, and not too long. And Bye-bye, January 6th committee. It's time for the Republicans to get to work and start doing some real investigation, because we're not talking nearly enough about how much treason Joe Biden and them got going on. We're not talking nearly enough about how much crap Hunter Biden. They didn't even for a while want to acknowledge the fact that the laptop was real.
Well, look, I'll say this. We know about being deplatformed. We know about them taking away channels and canceling us and things of that nature. Well, at least what they think is canceling us, because, we have loyal subscribers and people that, follow our content and support us in real life. So, a lot of you guys, we have your phone numbers, we have your email addresses, you're members of this. So there's really no way to cancel us. But it's interesting when it's a clear bias from our Justice Department, when it's a clear bias from the mechanisms of our government that are put in place by us, the people, to protect our interests, and those interests are being taken advantage of or usurped, or that authority rather is being usurped and mismanaged, to the point where we have to, as citizens, have to be careful now. We have to actually be careful what we say. Like, what does that even mean? I have to be mindful what I tweet or what I say, because I can be deplatformed or taken off or removed, because you can wake up tomorrow, create a term of service that says, well, you mentioned this, so now we have to get rid of you, and you can no longer have your, X amount of thousands of subscribers that it took you this time to cultivate. That's all gone, and we're deleting your video. So hopefully you had those two, and if not, you're SOL. That's what it is. So
And they've done that to us, folks. They've done it to us. So real quick, on the tail end of today's show, we got one last thing to talk about. And this kind of has to deal with Trump just a little bit. And that is about this guy right here. Okay. Before we say anything, get in the comments if you know who that is. Before I say it, we'll give him 10, 15 seconds. Tell us who that is, right? Do you know who that guy is? Does anybody watching know who he is? Okay. One of the interesting things is this guy has a lot of power, a whole lot of power, and he has exercised that power. We'll give it a few more seconds. Shouts out to Alexandra. She got it right. That is Chief Justice Roberts of the United States Supreme Court. And he just did a huge blow, to Biden. They stopped the Biden era administration from lifting Title 42. And this report says that Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts issued an order on Monday, temporarily blocking the end of Title 42 border policy, allowing for the swift expulsion of asylum seekers from the U.S., delivering a win for conservatives who argue lifting the policy will lead to migrants flooding an already overwhelmed southern border. Just a couple of key facts here. Roberts gave the Biden administration until 5 p.m. Tuesday to issue a response. A federal district court judge struck down Title 42 last month, calling it arbitrary and capricious, which is stupid. It's defending our border, and that the rule violated federal law. The attorneys general of 19 Republican states sued to keep it in place, arguing that lifting it will cause a crisis of unprecedented proportions at the border, and appealed to the Supreme Court after a circuit court tossed the case last Friday. Roberts did not rule on the merits of the case on Monday, and the White House did not immediately respond. Now, while you have some people, bro, that are arguing that this is arbitrary and capricious, is what they said, that this is somehow arbitrary and it's discriminatory and it doesn't do anything. What about the illegal alien I talked about that just got captured by immigration for years on the run for raping a little kid? What about all of these people that are coming across the border, all the fentanyl that's coming across the border? Is that arbitrary and capricious? And then the other thing is, and I'm looking for it right now, bro. Here we go, right here. I'm gonna mute this, but this is what we're talking about right here.
The resources
that is a dude
to deal
walking
with this many
on the border right now.
They say
this was the other day. That's the border. That's lines of people. All you see in the background, there are people waiting to cross the border illegally. Okay, that's people, right? That's actual folks, thousands of them. You see that line all across the bottom there.
No, those are thousands of people. Those are crisis actors. That's not real.
It's absolutely 1,000% real. There's no doubt about it that is actually what's happening right now. And for people to say that this is not happening, that the border's secure, that there's nothing wrong with it, that's actually thousands of people waiting to cross the border. They're there. They're sitting there.
Here's the
They're
thing, Ali.
waiting.
So some of us get called conspiracy theorists, and I sometimes don't mind the term because there are definitely conspiracies afoot. You have to
Right.
be conspiring to, or you are catastrophically terrible at your job. You either are purposefully mismanaging this border, or you're just terrible at your job.
Yo,
Or you
that's look at this. Look at this. That right there is a town in Mexico. These people are waiting. They're not waiting to present themselves properly. That's not what they're waiting for. They're waiting
for the
for
time they
Title
can jump
42 to
across.
expire to jump on into this country illegally. That's what they're waiting to do. This story, this one that we just read, is coming out of the AP. And look, folks, these people are waiting to cross the border. That's what they're waiting for. In Matamoros, the Mexican border city across from Brownsville, Texas, thousands of people are waiting for Title 42 to expire. That's what that story is.
Listen, we got a comment here that says my friends from other parts of the world are denied visas too, 3 times in a row, and yet these people slide in like butter. And this is on the tail end of this, Ali, as we close this up. The sad part about this is, like I said, either Mayorgas and his crew are inept at the highest level of what inept can be, or this is a concerted effort to dissolve the southern border. Both things can't be true. So
Correct.
I mean, maybe they can, maybe they can, but
I don't think in that case they can be, bro. I think
I'm trying to be as objective as possible.
now he's inept, unable. Pick the adjective you want to put there, but for him to say that the border's secure for Kamala Harris,
it can't be. It can't be. It's not.
It can't be. And yo, the president was 30 miles away. He was 30 miles away and said, "Hey, there's more important things to do." So, folks on the tail end, just remember, it ain't a conspiracy if it's true. It's just if it's true.
I mean,
and
that is
even
the
then,
factual side to this, Ali.
and
So
even then, we still got to make sure we're doing our part. So, salute to all the law enforcement officers out there every day doing the job the right way. Salute to all of our border enforcement agencies. All of our customs and border patrol people. We appreciate everything that you do. Shouts out to everybody that does what the right thing every day, presents themselves at the border and does it right. We even come from people that had to go to Ellis Island and do it the right way.
And they was from quote unquote, and he just I don't want to get into that argument.
So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode number 51. We got one more to go next Monday night.
And that's gonna be our year-end review. So get in the comment section on social media throughout the next couple of days. Let us know what your best moments are from the TUC podcast throughout the year. Go scroll through the Facebook page. Let us know what your favorite interview was. Let us know what your favorite moments were from the last year. Get in the comment section. Let us know what you got for Christmas, all that good stuff. We want to have a great show, year-end show next Monday night. So Merry Christmas to everyone. Happy whatever it else other than Christmas you celebrating. Happy that too, right? Happy that. May your families be all well. May everybody be, safe and enjoy and around people you enjoy being around and have plenty of love and all that good stuff. We want to say again, thank you for checking out the Urban Conservative Podcast. I'm Raheem Architect Soto. That guy is my twin brother, Abdul Ali. This one is over. It's 51. It's a wrap. It's in the books. Thanks, folks. We appreciate it.
See y'all next week.